It's Friday, April 11th. Tragedy in Manhattan. A sightseeing tour turns deadly as a helicopter crashes into the Hudson River, killing all 6 people on board.
Saying that you don't believe in polls, and if you're managing a campaign, it's delusional.
Campaign criticism. A conservative strategist takes aim at his own party for lagging poll numbers.
What do you think about the difference in price?
Ridiculous.
Worth the effort. People living in Gatineau are making the short trip across the border to Ottawa to fill up their gas tanks. They say the savings are worth it.
I got down to the Rotary, and there was a guy that was out in the middle of the street, and he was dodging cars.
An afternoon drive takes a surprising turn when a man climbs on top of a car, grinding traffic in Halifax to a stop. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada, and welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Welcome indeed. Hello and happy Friday. I'm Teddy Wilson.
And I'm Kelsey McEwen. We hope your Friday is off to a wonderful start.
Yeah, and for the next 3 weeks, we should let you know we are going to be traveling across the country, getting an idea of what issues matter most to voters in different cities. And this morning, we are starting this off in St. John, New Brunswick. That's where Lindsey is joining us from now. Lindsey, good morning.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. Good morning to you all in studio. Good morning to the crew. Good morning to everybody at home. And good morning to people in St. John, because that is where I am right now, St. John, New Brunswick. If you're familiar with St. John, you know exactly where I'm standing, which is one of the coolest places I've seen. Have you been? Have you seen the reversing falls? So right now, water is going this way. This is low tide, right? But at high tide, it looks like the water's going this way, hence the reversing falls. Kind of feels a little bit like the tariff swing that we're dealing with. We're like, wait, are we going this way? Wait, no, we're neutral. No, we're not. We're going this way. That's kind of how it feels right now. So it's a bit of an appropriate spot to be standing. So where am I standing right now? Well, let's talk about St. John and industry. And the reason why we're here is we're talking about the huge impact that these tariffs can have and will have on the city of St. John. So you've got one end of the city, you've got the Irving Oil Refinery, right? And then right behind me, you've got the Irving Pulp and Paper Mill. The industries here are so closely tied to the U.S. Look at that stat on your screen right now. More than 90% of New Brunswick's international exports go south of the border. Think about that, 93%. It is an arrangement that up until now, it worked pretty well, right? The trade relationship with the U.S. supports more than 40,000 Canadian jobs in the province. But, and this is a huge but, right? But new tariffs obviously have put, the economic success on the line. St. John is scrambling to find new markets for its resources. These next few years, it really could be a pivotal moment, a period of intense transformation here as St. John looks to survive in a very new, I'm going to say, economic landscape. Let's also talk about the landscape, because this St. John it was one riding, and I'm showing you a map right now because in the last federal election, one riding. Now, St. John has been divided into two ridings. The redrawn boundaries you're seeing there really could threaten the hold the Liberals have had over this city since 2019. So not only a different economic landscape, but different political landscape as well. So throughout the show today, we are talking to people. We are talking to the mayor of St. John. We are talking to Curtis Dion, who, if you saw my social media yesterday, you got a sneak peek at what we're going to be showing you today. He's a small business owner here. And how are these tariffs currently affecting him? He's lost $50,000 in sales so far this year. So we're talking to people here, what kind of impact really we're feeling with the tariff situation. As I stand beside the reversing falls going forward and back, kind of feels that way this morning. I'm going to send things back to the studio.
Yeah, Lindsey, in news and in interviews, we have talked a lot about St. John and the economic impact of those tariffs going back and forth there at that city. So it's great to have Lindsey on location. Lindsey, we're going to check in with you in the next half hour, but right now, Teddy's going to bring us the rest of today's news.
You bet. Okay, the U.S. Transportation Safety Board is investigating after a helicopter sightseeing tour in New York City ended in tragedy.
It sounded like a sonic boom on my right. So I look up and literally I just see a helicopter splitting in two with the rotor flying off in the sky. It was going so fast and just went straight into the water.
So 6 people were killed in the crash Thursday afternoon, including a family from Spain and the pilot. 3 of the dead are children. Witnesses say the helicopter was in trouble before it plunged into the Hudson River. It had been flying for about 15 minutes before it broke apart in the air and fell into the water. This is the first deadly helicopter crash in the city since 2019. There was another one prior to that as well in 2013. These crashes have led community activists to repeatedly call for banning or restricting helicopter traffic in Manhattan. Well, high-profile conservative strategist is not holding back on his thoughts about the people running Pierre Poilievre's federal campaign.
Well, because we blew a 25-point lead. That's why. You know, I know it's uncomfortable for people to hear that said out loud, but like it's in every poll aggregator, the numbers are the numbers.
As conservative strategist Corey Tenaik seen there, and on another podcast, he called the Conservatives trailing in the polls a, quote, campaign malpractice. Tenaik was the campaign manager who helped Ontario Premier Doug Ford win 3 straight majorities. And on the campaign trail, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre talked housing at a rally in the Waterloo region.
You can actually buy a castle in Scotland or Sweden for lower than the cost of a house in Kitchener.
Early in the day, Poilievre announced a plan to match municipal development tax cuts on new homes. He's promising to match the cut up to $25,000 per home.
We should be held to account for putting this into action, but it's there for a reason. We are committed to this.
Liberal leader Mark Carney laid out his plan to tackle crime. It includes a gun buyback program, hiring more RCMP officers, and tougher bail and sentencing for certain crimes.
Bankers speak for maintaining spending is freezing. Freezing is a cut if you talk about healthcare. He said this in his own plan.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh made another promise to protect public services and healthcare. He now says it's time to expand services to help people struggling to deal with the U.S. trade war. Traffic along the Halifax-Armdale Rotary came to a stop as police responded to a man sitting on top of a car.
He locked eyes with me and he screamed help, and then he belly flopped on my hood and crawled to the top of my truck and grabbed onto my roof racks and held on for dear life, and he wouldn't come down.
Wow, so this happened during yesterday's afternoon's rush hour. When police showed up, officers were able to talk down the man and move him to safety. The driver, Mitchell Smith, says there is some minor damage to his car and he's just happy that no one got hurt. Charges are not expected. Well, a short drive across the border to Ontario can be worth it these days for some Quebec drivers. All this because the gas is cheaper.
That's why I come here. So I'm not crazy. I'm not going to Quebec. Quebec, it's a...
There you go. So pumps in Ottawa have been busy with drivers recently coming across the bridges from Gatineau. The difference in price is simple. Ontario no longer has the carbon tax, while Quebec still has that cap and trade system in place. This all makes for a difference of about 12 cents per liter. When comparing 2 gas stations this week, the numbers were quite stark. In Gatineau, gas had been about $1.39 a liter, while in Ottawa, just $1.26. Now, for the driver of an average pickup truck, filling in Ottawa could mean $20 worth of savings. An Alberta ballet school is sending dancers to an international competition this month.
It's just like, I don't know what I would do with it, dance. It's just like the first thing that came to me, and I was like, I have to do something with this. It has to be my personality.
Georgia Blackwell has been dancing for 10 years, full decade. She's one of the dancers off to the Youth America Grand Prix in Tampa. The event focuses on ballet and contemporary dance styles, and directors from all major ballet institutions around the world will be there offering scholarships.